Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And today we've got a load that we have never tested before. We have tested it in a little bit different version, but not this particular shot size. So I'm definitely curious to see how it performs because the entire combination today is a pretty budget setup. So I'm curious how capable it might actually be out to 40 yards. But for the shells I've got, I brought out some more of the Winchester Double X turkey loads, but these ones are the 20 gauge, 3-inch, 1 and 5/16 ounce payload of lead 5s, moving about 1,200 feet per second. We have tested our fair share of 12 gauge Double X shells with some nice results, but for 20 gauge Double X, we have tested them in 4s with some pretty mediocre results at best, if I can remember. So we'll see what the 5s can do. We've got more pellets in our shell, with them being a smaller shot size. So maybe that might help us. Lead in a 20 gauge, at least out to 40 yards, can be on the edge sometimes. 30 yards and in, it's not an issue, but we're going to see what these can do at 40. Since these definitely could be a little bit better or more budget-oriented combo compared to the pricing of TSS now, for this season anyway. Before the setup we're running them in, I brought out my Stevens 301 20 gauge. It's got a vector red dot up on top with a 26-inch barrel, and we're going to be running the Primos Tight Wad choke. It's a 570 constriction, so maybe a hair more breathing room might help these shells out some since they are a lead 5. But these chokes are about 20 bucks. I've seen some places want about 25, but you can find them on sale for as low as like 15, 16 bucks sometimes. And with a $200 shotgun, this entire setup could be a decent budget turkey option if it's actually capable of doing the job. So we'll see what it can do out to 40. But for our test today, we're running it the same as usual. I've got the turkey paper set up at 40 yards, as well as the chronograph so we can get our velocity. So let's get you guys a view of that target, and we'll see what these Double X 5s can do through the Tight Wad 570. It wouldn't surprise me if they're pretty disappointing, with it being a pretty basic lead load from a 20 gauge, but we don't know what's going to happen until we try it. So let's take our shot and see what we get. Alright, that shell gave us 1180 through the chrono. Boss claim is 1200, so we're 20 shy of what they're saying, but I would still call that very much so in the ballpark. So nothing out of the ordinary here for velocity, but did they actually give us any kind of usable pattern or not? Let's go check it out. Alright, so here's our 40-yard paper. And it kind of did about like I thought it would, to be honest with you. Do we have a dead bird at 40 yards? Yes, we do. There's 2.5 or so through the brain there that would have done the job, as well as 1 or 2 down the spine. So yes, technically speaking, it is 40-yard capable. Our pattern definitely favored a touch high with that particular combination. That isn't what the red dot is zeroed to, which is why you always test with the setup you plan to hunt with before you just take it out in the woods. But even if we were centered up a little bit, it would probably still be about the same story. A couple through the head and neck area, which technically, yeah, it would do the job, but it is not what I would call a good turkey pattern. Now, like I said earlier, lead in a 20 gauge turkey load is kind of borderline out to 40 yards. There are some options that are pretty decent out to 40 yards, but for the most part, it's probably a 30 yard and in type of affair with most lead 20 gauge turkey loads. And if that was the case here, yeah, it would absolutely be capable. But you can see to 40, it's not impressive. We really don't have any kind of a core to it, and it definitely is a little splotchy. We kind of have 2 hotter areas right above the turkey target with several bigger void areas kind of surrounding it, and we pretty much covered most of the bottom half of the paper with random pellets as well, even all the way down there towards the bottom edge. So it's probably not something that I would ideally use out to 40 yards on a turkey hunt. If this is what I had, it's a budget option. That might be what some people can afford or can get or want to run. 30 yards and in is probably about the limit for this combo here. Now maybe with a tighter choke, we can potentially tune these in a little bit better than that. Maybe we can bring it in, have a little bit tighter overall pattern. I do have plenty of chokes in the 568, 565, 562, and 555 range as well. Maybe those might help us. These shells do have a wad, they are buffered, and they are copper plated, which are all good things. So maybe we can find the better combination for these that might give us what we really want to see. But for a starting point, it's not anything overly impressive. It's probably about the same as what the Double X4s in 20 gauge gave us as well, just with a few more pellets on the paper. So nothing too surprising. I was hoping that maybe we saw a little bit better than that, but it's about what I figured it would be. And the thing about it is, most standard just field loads or small game loads are probably going to give you something pretty similar to that. So even though it technically might be good enough to 40, it's just not a super impressive combination overall. And most people probably wouldn't run that after getting that kind of a pattern. So kind of is what it is. Maybe we can get a little more out of it, but we'll see as we continue testing them. And here's the wad from that shell. Very standard Winchester equipment here. Looks perfectly fine. Nothing stuck down in there. No major damage. So it did about what it could through today's setup. Lead is just pretty limited when it comes to 20 gauge, unfortunately. But for the wad, nothing out of the ordinary to see here. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that result right there? Unfortunately, it's kind of about what I thought we might see. Technically, sure, it would have killed the bird out to 40 yards. How reliable would it do that? That might be a little bit questionable. Now, 30 yards and in, that's going to be a perfectly adequate combination. And when it comes to lead in a 20 gauge, that's probably what a lot of people think is the limit anyway, and that would be perfectly fine. But out to 40, you're probably going to start hitting the limitations pretty quickly there. Now maybe we can run them through a tighter choke and condense down that spread a little more. I have my doubts on how much better we can do, but you never know until you try it, I suppose. I just don't know how much better performance you're going to be able to get from a more basic lead 20 gauge option like those Double X shells over just like a Winchester Super X small game load in 5s or 6s. You probably be about the same with that combo. So that's really why TSS shines as much as it does when it comes to the sub gauges. But you can let me know all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of the 20 gauge Double X loads? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is that a combo you would hunt with? Would you limit your range? Or is that good enough for you out to 40 yards to take that chance? And maybe what other combos do you want to see me run those Double X5s through that you think might be a good performer? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All the information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.